Hello guys, I am back from another review and today we talk about what Deku was the Prince of Wrath. So in the last video Deku, after explaining who he really is, basically saying that he's actually the son of Azazel, aka the demon Prince of Wrath or King of Wrath. After saying that to Principal Nezu and All Might, they basically trusted Izuku a little bit, less or more. Anyway, after a encounter with a Jorogumo, well, Izuku became friends with her, at least a little bit, because Izuku just gave her some bread so she can feed that to her babies. And also, the rest of, Izuku's classmates were kind of astounded that Izuku is actually the son of Azazel, aka the Demon of Wrath, but they still respected him. So, after a little incident in the cafeteria, as an incident, I mean, the lunch lady literally died. As in died, I mean, her face was basically, there were several bite marks, and when Izuku investigated this scene, Izuku found out that there's, some manticore babies, well, in Japan, which was confusing, more or less. And also, Izuku found out that the manticore babies were basically trying to survive because, their mother is basically dead. So Izuku decides to, take them in and make them, Izuku's pets. So, yeah, so let's talk about what happens next. So, Izuku, after waking up, Izuku made food for himself and his brand new manticore pets. So, Izuku starts going off to school with Bakugo. Bakugo was sitting right next to Izuku in the, train. As she says this, I didn't get a wink of sleep because of all of the studying that I have to do. Izuku says this, at least it's better than basically getting an F. As she says this, whatever. As she says this, I'm going to fucking go to sleep, you nerd. As she falls asleep on Izuku's shoulder, Izuku was, blushing a little bit, but Izuku just ignored it, as when they made it to, UA, they were told by Aizawa, well, instead of, a sports festival, they're going to be going to a party. Apparently, there's a party at Island where, it's a celebration for a brand new product that, the it's been a long time since I did like this type of like scene. The I no not just let me check. Let's go to Shield Corporation for now because when I tried to Google it, there's no name of the company or what corporation she, as in she, I mean like Melissa's father's work. So basically, they were told that they're gonna be going to a party at Island. So Izuku was quite hesitant because back in hell, back when he was like um when he was like 5 or 4, he was brought to several parties which Izuku never liked. So Izuku became, how do I say it, a bit of a dislike to parties. So yeah, and it's not hoping that, well actually he's only great. The only parties that he actually likes are, really small parties like that party in the start of the series, or was it the second episode? I can't remember, it's been a long time. Anyway, so Izuku was, quite hesitant, just a little bit hesitant. So everybody was basically excited, just basically excited because they're gonna be going to Island. So yeah, so Bakugo told, her mother that she wanted to get a really nice dress, mostly because of Izuku, and just because she wants to, well, bash on everybody. So, Izuku basically came back to hell and basically picked up, well, one of his old, well, suits, which was a red, purple, and, well, gold suit. So, he also brought, well, his top hat. Um, not top hat, I meant bowler hat, which is basically what, just imagine one of those, like those stereotypical, British dandies would wear. Not a top hat, a bowler hat is basically a top hat, but except with a rounder, top, basically. So, after getting out of hell, he starts getting ready. So, his manticore pets decide to, how do I say it? Want to go to Island as well, which Izuku told them to not because, well, he's not dealing with, the disgusting shite that they would always produce. I mean, in my world, in my type of universe, manticores actually exist in that universe basically as either personas or actual, well, species. Manticores in that world, or at least my world, basically have like nuclear like shite. Like they're like really stank, like to the point that they can suffocate a person. And it's basically what the manticores are like in, in this, what if. He says this to his, little manticore pups or cubs. You're not allowed to go into Island at all. You're just going to be staying here, or I'll just tell somebody to basically take care of you. They're basically like doing that like puppy dog face, like, please. Izuku says this. No. Izuku decides to, call some sort of, pet sitter to basically, take care of the manticores. So after telling her that, or at least the pet, um wait wait after telling the pet sitter to basically, take care of these, pets, when he starts leaving to go to Island, the pet sitter was okay, but unfortunately Izuku forgotten to tell her or him, that it doesn't matter what gender is it. So Izuku, after getting ready, he goes to sleep, and then when it's the next day, well, Izuku starts leaving. So, after meeting up with the pet sitter, Izuku tells, the pet sitter to basically how to take care of his pet. But when she came there, or he, or whatever, to the apartment, when she saw the manticore, she was like, what the fuck? What? I didn't know that. Uh, she was like confused as all hell. What the hell are those things? So she starts searching up what should he, or her, feed them. So yeah, that's going to be, a little story for another day. So let's go back to Izuku. So Izuku is basically at the airport with the rest of his classmates. Bakugo was basically, flaunting her, brand new dress that she supposedly told everybody. But Izuku was not really into, suits and things like that. As, Kirishima says this. Hey, Izuku, you said that you're the son of, like, a demon lord or whatever. Izuku says this. Yes. Why? As Kirishima says this. Well, I thought of an idea for your suit. Maybe it would be like, as he basically explains, like some godbook or something. Izuku says this. Don't worry, I already have my own suit. As he says this. Wait, really? Izuku says this. Yeah, it's one of my old suits back in the day. I mostly used it for parties back in hell. When it was like 5 or something. It's been a long time. It's just modified. As Well, Kirishima says this. They must be really cool. I mean, you're like the son of a king or something. That means you're pretty rich, right? Aizuki says this. Yeah, I'm pretty rich, but the most richest out of all of us are, as in all of us, I mean, well, hell itself is actually Mammon, my uncle. As he says this, Mammon? That's a weird name. Aizuki says this. Oh yeah, almost all my, well, family, quote unquote. They have names based, well, in Latin, wait for a second. In the Latin language or Hebrew. As he says this. Oh, okay. He's the most richest out of all of us in hell because, well, he is the demon of greed after all. As he says this. That means he's like really loaded, right? Izuku says this. Yeah, pretty loaded. But he would mostly just, well, every time we were getting our allowances, well, I would mostly get like a few 400 gold. As he says this. 400 gold? That's like so much! Izuka says this. Not really in hell. Most, well, meals are mostly cost like 100 or 200. As he says this. Wait, Izuka says this. Yeah, I mean, hell is mostly filled with sinners and other such people. As he says this. Seriously. Bruh. He just goes like the bruh sound. So, Aizawa and All Might said this. Alright, kids, let's go. As Aizawa basically says this. Yeah, let's just go. We don't want to lose. We don't want to miss our flight. Wait for a second. Sorry about that. So, after, well, Aizawa told them that, they started going off to, well, to the airport proper, aka, well, going inside of the plane. Everybody was basically just started playing around. It's basically a private plane that's used by All Might himself, so they can do whatever they want except for drinking. As in drinking, I mean drinking alcohol. So yeah, Izuku was basically just, well, mostly watching some videos about, well, World War II. He started like watching videos on World War II as Jiro comes up to Izuku as he says this. I meant she says this. So what do you as she sees Izuku just watching, well, some videos about, well, World War II tactics. And mostly about vehicles, mostly planes and freaking tanks. As Izuku says this. What is it, Jiro? As Jiro says this. Are you watching World War II? A World War II video. Izuku says this. Yeah. Is there a problem? As she basically says this. Um, actually, I don't really mind it. And I will just be going off somewhere. Izuku says this. Weird. As well, Kirishima says this. Hey bro, do you want to have an arm wrestling match? And Izuku says this. Fine. But I gotta warn you, I'm pretty strong. As he says this. Yeah, let's do it. Everybody starts crowding around him because, well, Izuku and Kirishima are like the manliest men and like, well, actually, Izuku's technically the strongest because, well, he is a half demon. And for Kirishima, he's the strongest in, well, defensive wives. I meant defensive wise. I meant defensive wise. I meant. As Kirishima says this. Alright, let's do it. I'm not. I'm not. I meant Izuku. I meant. Well, wait for a second. I meant Kaminari. Kaminari says this. Alright, 3, 2, 1, go! As Izuku basically just, well, defeats Kirishima instantly. As Kirishima says this. I can't believe I lost. It's my first time losing. Izuku says this. I mean, I am the son of, well, Azazel, the demon of wrath, and I mean, he's the strongest out of all of the demons. maybe right next to, well, Lucifer, aka my uncle. As he says this, oh, yeah. So, after a bit of, well, talking and a bit about, well, bantering, they decided to go to sleep. As when it's basically morning, they made it to the, well, basically made it to Island, basically maybe at 5 or 4 in the morning. So they started getting out of the plane as they're basically waiting for the, well, for the car that's going to basically bring them to, well, to the hotel where basically Melissa and um what's his name, and David Shield. So when they finally arrived, basically the car, it's basically a white limousine with like gold trim. As everybody said this, oh my god, that looks freaking fancy. Everybody was basically, well, excited except for Izuku. As well, Kirishima says this, Izuku, why are you not excited? Izuku says this, I seen cars that are basically in hell. As well, Kaminari says this, wait, there's cars in hell? Izuku says this, you really think that it's, well, really that outdated in hell? Like, do you really think there's like brimstone and like horses and things like that? We're able to modernize, you know. As well, Ochako says this. So, what types of cars? Izuku says this. Mostly cars that are specialized in speed and other such things. Uh, my father would always, well, prefer to ride on like a, what do you call it? He prefers to ride on a Satanario. As well, the rest of his classmates say this at once. What? Izuku says this. A Satanario. It's a type of car. You don't really know what it is. And if you're questioning how do I know about this car, um, yeah, back in the day I would watch like TCG anime. Yeah, that's the channel. And during one of his, um, well, videos about, well, the, I think it was called the um our, monarch archetype. Yeah, there was like a card name. There's like a two sets of cards. One was a vassal and a monarch, I think it was. Yeah. And apparently they were named after, well, cars from Lamborghinis. Well, line of like cars basically. So, Izuku basically, after getting stared at by his classmates except for Bakugo because she was, well, busy off sitting in the, well, in the limousine. Well, they start going inside of the, well, limousine as Kirishima says this. Oh my god, bro. It feels so soft. Izuku says this. You almost remind me of my uncle, Beelzebub. As well, what's that guy's name? The one that, the one with the sugar rush quirk. We just check. Yeah, his name is Sato. So, Sato says this. Really? And who the heck is Beelzebub? Oh, Beelzebub is my uncle. He's the demon of gluttony. As he says this. Do you think that I'm, I'm your uncle just because I eat a lot? Mostly sugar? Ezekiel says this. Yeah, my uncle Beelzebub, he's a big fan of, well, sweet things, especially if it's cake. Trust me, last time when it was our birthday, well, when I was about to get the cake was instantly gone. As well, Sato says this. Really? Then who was the culprit? Izuku says this. Are you serious? It's Beelzebub, my uncle. I mean, he is the demon of, well, gluttony. As he says this. Oh. Ugh. And it's not helping that the candle was still on it. As well, Well, Ochako says this. Are you serious? He literally ate the candle as well? Izuku says this. Yeah, uh, it still disgusted me. The other, the other demon lords were also disgusted. Trust me, you don't want to get him near any types of food ever. Even if it's your lunch, he will just eat. He will, he will just probably just eat the entire lunchbox. As everybody is basically they're basically just started discussing Izuku's crazy uncle. Well, um, the driver says this. All right, we made it here to the hotel, so you can just drop all of your stuff outside. So the driver basically gets all of their belongings and basically started bringing them to to their rooms. So yeah, so Izuku was told by Aizawa and All Might that Izuku is going to be roommates with with Bakugo. Bakugo said this. Are you serious? This is unfair. I mean, Bakugo they're not as All Might says this. Don't worry, you'll probably not get along pretty well. As Izuku says this. Come on, Bakugo. Let's just go. So yeah. So after unpacking, as in unpacking, I mean like Izuku just puts his bags right next to right next to his bed. Izuku says this. I'll just keep sleeping for now. I'm still pretty much tired. As Bakugo said this. Yeah. Good night, I guess, or at least good morning. I mean, it's still 5. As Izuka says this, I just prefer to have a proper sleep. So yeah, so the rest of class basically goes to sleep because it's still pretty early in the morning. Because they're going to be going around the well the entire island, basically just like doing whatever things that they want to do. But for Izuku and the rest of their classmates, it's still pretty early for them, so they decide to go to sleep. So, yeah. So after Izuku and Bakugo go to sleep, it's going to be the end of the episode. So yeah. So I hope you liked the video. Comment and subscribe, and I hope to see you guys next time. Bye bye.